aspects: own a product, own the marketing, own the sales, and own the profits. That is the process for taking you into wealth ownership. If you want to be wealthy here on earth, you have to own a product, own the marketing, own the sales, and own the profits. And this is all about you becoming a business owner. I've actually already developed a full teaching or a full training on you becoming a business owner. What is the process that you need to go through in order for you to become a business owner? How do you become a business owner? And why should you become a business owner? And all those questions and other questions can be answered if you were to be part of this training on becoming a business owner. And so in this one, we are basically talking about from product development to putting money into your pocket. This is the process through which you and I are supposed to go. And I have come to coin this as product trinity. So the product trinity, the key aspects of a product is that you have to develop it. Then from there, you go into marketing that product, and then you go into sales. Now, I have been saying that I've come to call the intermediary, which is product marketing, as being a big monster for many for many people. So we need to make sure that this monster is conquered. Yeah, when you conquer this monster called marketing, assuming you have a good product, a rare and precious product. I think you remember we have been quoting our equation: reality plus preciousness is equal to value, which is equal to worth, which is equal to wealth. So yes, you can have a rare and precious product, but if you and I fail to market that product, it means that the product will not be sold. And also, we have to make sure that when we sell this product, the product must be able to take us into profitability, because you are going into business basically for profit, unless you decide to go into business basically as a hobby. But if you are going there for a profit, and given our equation, profit is equal to revenue minus cost, at the end of the day, when you subtract costs from your revenue, you should be able to come up with profit. And it is at profit when you start, you own the profits, you start making profits, and cumulatively with the time, that's how you end up creating wealth, not for your employer, not for any other. Of course, you have partners who may share in this wealth, but ultimately you'll be able not only to create your wealth, but go into wealth building. From wealth building, you go into wealth ownership. And from wealth ownership, you go into wealth establishment. This is where the wealth you create should go to generations, fourth, fifth, and if anything, it has to be perpetual wealth as long as the earth endures. You remember I had cited companies like Toyota company. The owner died some times back, but it is the family that is running some generations of the family of a man called Toyota. And many other companies are still being run by their family members, even after the owners who came up with such ideas died sometimes back. So basically, we have to go into a sustained product sales, and where these products end up giving us profits. And for those of you who have just joined us, this was our first point, that in us now, that this is the how to market, how to market, how to develop, market, and sell your product. We said that number one, you have to use God's heaven earth creation trinity. for your product development, marketing, and sales. And what is this trinity? It is the three: wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. And these three give us three outputs or outcomes. They give us three outcomes. By wisdom, by wisdom, God built the earth. Through understanding, he established the heavens. Through knowledge, God was able to make divisions in the earth and made it, like I've seen my brother there in Rwanda, he had to put the Atlantic Ocean there. And then where I am, I'm next to the Suez River. God made those divisions using knowledge. And this is the one from which I've been saying that reality plus preciousness is equal to value, which is equal to worth, which is equal to wealth. Because when you fill your house or your business house with knowledge, when you have knowledge, when you use knowledge to fill your house, then you have rare and precious treasures. This is the one that connects us to the fact that even a business house, for you to build a business house, you have to use the three: wisdom for building your business house, understanding for establishing your business house, and knowledge for filling or populating your business house. And so the second one we had talked about is that you need to know the two sides of the why of the product development, marketing, and sales with regard to benefits. And then we went further to talk about know why you should develop, market, and sell a product or service. So here we talked about the love your neighbor as you love yourself principle. This is offering value to the market and to yourself. If you love your customers, if you love your buyers as you love yourself, you shall be able to come up with a product or a service that will meet their needs, that will help them to solve their problems. And then we established what we call the product benefit trinity. Always look at impact, results, and outcomes. That according to Isaiah 46 verse 10, God sees the end from the beginning. So in your product development, always focus on the impact, the results, and the outcome. And then we went further to talk about value your value. Don't devalue your value. Value your value highly. So how much you value your value will determine a number of factors. For example, where will you place yourself? Let's talk about the aspect of time. When, for example, you are an employee, when you put your value on yourself to be an employee. I have said that in the equation, profit is equal to revenue minus cost. It means you have valued yourself and located yourself in the cost position. And so you have, in a way, devalued yourself from being occupying the profit position, which is the employer position, to the position of cost. That's just one of the examples. And then we also talked about the fact that you have to aim for product sales as the ultimate. And basically that if you own, he or she who owns the selling becomes rich. Do you own the selling? If you own the selling, then you become rich. That I've quoted a man called Douglas Kruger. And then we talked about you being conscious of being a problem solver using your value. So you have to be conscious of solving problems. And of course, we said that it is not every problem in the world that you need to solve. You need to go into an aspect of specialization and also segmentation, differentiation, and concentration. And we established the fact that you were born a problem solver. You and I, God wired us to be problem solvers. And this is where we looked at Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, as God's model for problem solving. And then we established that you need to go into the world to solve problems. This is the principle. I've called it go into the world to solve problems principle. So God, therefore, because God is a problem solver, according to Genesis 1, verse 2, when the earth was formless it was empty, and the darkness covered the surface of the earth, God started by saying, let there be light, and there was light. And we equated light to knowledge, that don't go into product development, marketing and sales with ignorance. Please never defend your ignorance. Acknowledge that you need to acquire knowledge, and knowledge within that business area in which you are going. And this is where we talked about, like I've already indicated, product development, marketing and sales is about you solving people's problems out there. So it is about creating, making, building, and establishing a solution to be exchanged for value in the marketplace. And that product development ranges from having a business idea to solve a problem or challenge in the market by devising a solution, and devising a solution and combining resources together to build the market, that product, service, and that is after you adding value to resources. You go into mixing resources. This is called resource mix. You do a combination of resources. This is the one I've called in my book, the employer in you. The employer in you, series 1. That is about repositioning yourself from having an employee mind to having an employer mind. On page 145 of this book, I put up an equation about wealth creation and acquisition, a wealth creation and acquisition formula. I've called it the Kayekesi Simon Perez formula. At least I know that before I die, I should be able to at least leave some formulas behind which the generations to come are supposed to make use of. So one of my formulas that I've developed is wealth creation and acquisition or ownership is equal to human capital plus social capital plus resource endowment plus experience plus people around you plus people around you as capital plus time, then resource plus resource mix plus branding plus marketing plus sales. Then you have wealth. You translate your potential capital into cash. You know, yesterday, and as is normally the case, yesterday I was chatting with somebody who was telling me, say, he has not started business because of capital. I said, yeah, the problem is every time people talk about capital, they are referring to money. But capital is not really money per se. Those things that I've talked about in the equation that I just cited, those are aspects of capital. So you just have to sit down and be able to translate those into you translate your potential capital into cash. And basically, none of us was born with cash, but we ended up finding cash here on earth as people invested in us, our parents and many other people invested into us. So those people acted as our capital. So there is the give it and it shall be given to you principle. The amount of value that you give. I get this principle from the Bible in Luke chapter 6, verse 38. It says, give it to be given unto you, a good measure, pressed down, running over, shall be poured into your lap. And I was just going through somebody who has indicated that ideas attract money. In fact, it says ideas rule the world. Ideas rule the world. With ideas, you create the world. Creativity is the key to success. So then you have to be able to come up with ideas on how you can give value to the world. And the world will definitely give you back. Like the man Jim Rohn has said, aim to help other people as much as they want so that they can pay you as much as you want. Aim to help other people as much as they want so that they can pay you as much as as you want. So when you are in poverty, it's definitely indicating that you have not given the world as much value as they want. When you change, you transform and go into producing as much value, and that value you give it to the world, you market it and sell it to the world, and you solve their problems as much as they are in need of you solving those problems, then you end up becoming rich here on earth. So we go on, and I think this is where we ended up the last time, and I would love to concentrate on this for those of you who are on Zoom. Those on Facebook, I'll have to go through the diagram that I'm looking at right away. I've drawn a triangle, and from the base of the triangle up to going up, I have put ideas there to sort of sum up a number of these things that we are talking about and will continue talking about. At the base, I have talked about problems or challenges. So you start with problems or challenges in the world. Which problems or challenges are there out there around you and beyond you? And I think in our second session after the first one, as we were chatting with the colleagues, I remember one of our friends was saying that you have to start from problems in your local environment. I said, yes, problems with your local environment, that is important, but also at the same time, we have to acknowledge the very fact we have to thank God for globalization. We have to thank God for technology. So with globalization and technology, a person who is some kilometers, thousands of kilometers away, is like your neighbor, and you're and therefore you don't necessarily have to be tied up to your local environment. Sometimes your product locally might not be welcome. And I was indicating the story of Jesus in the Bible. When he took his product to Nazareth, where he was born, people knew him. He told them about his gospel product, but people were able to take him outside and they wanted to kill him. And so when he took his product to Capernaum, there he was received like a king. And they didn't actually want him to leave that product because they saw his product to be rare and precious. So you have to start with problems, challenges. And problems are the ones that give you business opportunities. And I talked about a man called Jeff Walker, who has said that every problem or challenges offer to you and I a window of opportunity. And today I was reflecting on this on a serious note. The challenges that surround me, the challenges that are around. And I was saying, what is the window of opportunity which these challenges are presenting to me? And what solution can I be able to devise out of these challenges in order for me to come up with a product or products that I can be able to take to the market? And then from the business opportunities, you move to you having a business idea. I've already talked about ideas rule the world. So if you want to be one of those people to rule the world, please, from the problems and challenges, then business opportunities, go into coming up with a business idea. And the business idea should take you to the next level on you having a business vision. And from a business vision, then now you go into product development or service development. And from service development, you go into the distribution. And distribution is basically the filling the earth principle. If you go to Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, it is fill the earth. This is where you go into marketing. This is marketing. This is where you conquer the monster called marketing. And basically, the whole point is that every problem that we see, whether it is a marketing problem or a sales problem and so on, if you check around, people are busy looking for news to start discussing problems. They will discuss this, discuss that, how impossible it is. The other day, I should have been yesterday, I got some WhatsApp message from a friend talking about, some country, about what their currency is going to be like in maybe by next year and so on. And then I was saying, okay, so people tend to be specializing basically in discussing problems and more or less concluding from the way people are concluding these discussions. They are communicating to me that they don't seem to be seeing any window of opportunity in these problems. But during the day, I was reflecting at the aspect of Goliath in the Bible. In the Bible, in 1 Samuel chapter 17, David is sent by the father to take food to his brothers. And when he reaches there, he finds that actually the experienced people have taken 40 days running away from this giant called Goliath. So then I'm explaining this to give you a difference between individuals in society on how we view problems. Another one sees Goliath as a challenge to run away and be in fear for 40 days. But when this young man, David, comes and then he sees Goliath, he sees him, he sees the window of opportunity, and he comes in and he markets. And I think we said last time that, for example, for David to have found himself before the king, and that at the end of the day, he ended up killing Goliath, it was not easy. He had to penetrate through his brothers, who first of all told him he was evil. He went and asked people what will be done to a person who gets the king who killed this uncircumcised Philistine, and people told him this is the value that will be given. He shall marry the king's daughter, and then his family shall be excused from paying taxes in Israel. And while others are seeing a problem and wanting to run away from this problem, the man David was able to see a window of opportunity. He said, I have already got experience in the bush of killing a bear when it caught the animals, or killing a bear or a lion, and I am an experienced person. I'll be able to kill this uncircumcised Philistine. And the end of the story was that David was able to offer a solution, and definitely he was able to be given the value that he needed. He got the daughter of the king, and many other benefits came his way. So basically, we shall be faced with challenges at every level, be it at product development, be it at product marketing, and up to the final point when we make a sale. But our major objective is to move from distribution to monetization. This is where you and I should be able to make a sale out of our product. And then from monetization, again, you remember I was saying in the equation, profit is equal to revenue minus cost. I have come to call that equation the economics of work. You have to make sure you should not be a perpetual loss maker. You have to be able to move from of course making losses when you have started your business. You have to move from making losses because you are investing. You have to move from making you start from your profit in the equation. Profit is equal to revenue minus cost. You start by making losses until you reach a point where profit is equal to revenue minus cost, where profit will be equal to zero. That is called the break-even point. It's like on the number line for those of you who still remember your mathematics, if you can. It's like on the number line, you are moving from the negative, and then you are moving from the negative from the left here until you reach zero on your way to the right-hand side. where you start making profits, and you keep on making those profits until you accumulate assets, and then your balance sheet is in a sound state, or the state of wealth. So you have to remember, you have from monetization to profits to dividends, and then from there now you go into wealth ownership. This is how you own wealth. Your ownership of wealth is about you positioning, like I already said, positioning yourself in the equation. A profit is equal to revenue minus cost. You position yourself in the profit position. And this is what I am calling the employer in you, as opposed to the employee in you. So you go into wealth ownership. And when you own this wealth, you establish this wealth, and then you move into wealth distribution. And as you can, like I've explained, you are starting from problems and challenges and going up to wealth ownership. What you see in between: product development, product marketing, sales, that is wealth creation and what? And wealth building. Then now you go into wealth ownership, and from there you go into wealth distribution. This is now where you distribute your wealth to your children's children, because a righteous man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. And if wealth has to go to your children's children, it is supposed to pass through your children, according to the Bible in Proverbs chapter in Proverbs, in the book of Proverbs, it is saying that houses and wealth are inherited from parents. But yes, let me not quote the second part. I think it's the first part that I'm interested in. Houses and wealth are inherited from parents. That's Proverbs 19 verse 14. And then Proverbs 13 verse 22 is talking about the fact that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So then that is the part I'm talking about, to say wealth what? Wealth establishment. So distribute this wealth. You go into corporate social responsibility. You go into forming foundations. Like the other time I was talking about the is it Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation. That is the beauty of you owning wealth. Then you go into wealth distribution. And as we were chatting in the second session, somebody came up with an idea. Say, okay, I can see that the triangle, it's bigger down, and as you go up there, it becomes smaller and smaller. Is this indicating that that's why very few people are into wealth ownership? Because very few people are willing to engage in solving problems, and solving problems where they end up owning profits and dividends, profits or dividends. I said that is a very powerful, if it was in church, I would say that is a very powerful revelation. And I learned something. Yes, basically, there are very few people who really are serious problem solvers. And that's why I have, again, in this book, The Employer in You, talked about the man, Bob Proctor, who has said that 97% of people, 97% of the world's population only enjoy 3% of the world's wealth. And the vice versa, only 3% of the world's population end up enjoying 97% of the world's wealth. So you can see that it is about how many people are up into solving problems. Of course, others would distribute, will attribute some people getting wealth through corruption and through theft and many other things. Yeah, those could be some of the reasons. But clearly, if you check, you go onto Google, and even if some people around you, you would see that there's something a good number of people end up being wealth, end up achieving in in terms of their behavior, their investment behavior, and so forth. So that's that. I was simply indicating that in the Employer in Your book, I have talked about the man Bob Proctor, who has said that 97% of the world's population only go for the meager 3%, and only 3% of the world's population enjoy 97%. I think personally, I would love to be among the 3% who enjoy 97% of the world's wealth. Where do you want yourself to be located? Where do you want yourself to be located? Anyway, that is food for thought. So in the next few minutes, let me talk about the next point. We shall build on it as usual. The way I've been doing it, we will build on this and go a step further the next time. So the next point is where we are saying, look at your product as a solution in the marketplace or your value offer. I think from what we have been talking about, all we are saying is that you are into problem solving. You were born a problem solver, and so therefore you look or you view your product as a solution in the marketplace. That is your value offer, the offer that you are giving to the marketplace. So, and then the next one is that you need to use problems around you and beyond you to solve market challenges. Use problems around you and beyond you to solve market challenges. And then the other one is use God's problem-solving approach to come up with market solutions. I think this one we touched it also the last time, and we'll build on it further when we meet, God willing, on Friday. This is where God was able to start from light to go into, to start from light, let there be light, and then from there he went into populating the earth, and then ended up with an aspect of him creating form. And God was able to monitor and evaluate his work and was able to say, this is good, 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 until he finally said it was very good. And that is how you and I should be able to move, to use God's approach to solving problems. Remember, God brought you here on earth, you and I, to be problem solvers. Go out there, solve problems by coming up with products, developing a product, marketing it, and then selling it, so that you put money into your product. You move from product development to putting money into your pocket. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. You may join me in the next session. Join me in the next session.